What's up, guys? Okay, so in this video I want to talk about the microchip, universal basic income, and the whatever people want to call it, the totalitarian, total control, George Orwell 1984 New World Order control grid matrix that is coming. Okay. Now, the interesting thing I notice about people who talk about this stuff is they never talk about basically how bad things already are right now. They never talk about, for instance, the elephant in the living room, the dollar and fiat currencies and the extent to which they've inflated over the last 100 or so years, okay? In the last 100 years, the dollar has inflated by about 97%. 97%. And I think it's amazing how many people fearmonger about this evil, horrible system of control that is coming, that is on its way apparently, when your dollar has inflated by 97%. Like, consider that for a moment. Like, I mean, can the system get worse? Sure. But guys, I mean, it's already pretty fucked up. Like, no one seems to want to talk about how bad things are already, and the fact that we're basically using monopoly money that governments can just print and make up on a whim and just keep devaluing. I mean, the United States is almost $38 trillion in debt. And again, no one talks about this. People get obsessed with, these conspiracy theories and the secret plans of the elite, apparently, even though loads of people seem to know about them. And they talk about it as though it's something that is coming. And within that, we take our attention away completely from how fucked up everything is already, guys. I mean, 97% currency devaluation. Your money's worth nothing. You're a slave. You get paid the illusion of money. You get paid in basically pennies on the dollar compared to what people used to get paid 100 years ago. Like, you have to be a multi-millionaire or a billionaire to have any form of wealth or power within the economic system. So, yeah, I honestly, I have a hard time taking seriously anybody who talks about conspiracy theories and things that are yet to come. Or like the microchip, for example. I mean, guys, you're already microchipped. Like, for all intents and purposes, you have, government IDs. You have to have a bank account to be able to do most things. You have to have a driver's license. You have to have your healthcare identification, whatever. Like, there's so many ways that you're tagged and information is kept on you in the system, and that you basically have to jump through hoops to participate in the system as any kind of as any kind of human being with any value that's basically allowed to do anything in the system. So how much of a difference is it going to make literally having the ID in your skin? I mean, the biggest difference I can see is that you're probably not going to be at risk at losing your IDs anymore, which for some people that might be a bonus. I mean, I don't know if you've ever lost your bank card or your driver's license or your ID card before. That won't be a problem with the microchip. And then, anybody who's not microchipped will then be exposed. If everybody were microchipped, then we would all know who the elite controllers are by just seeing, well, who isn't microchipped. But I guess the main point in this video is it's so ridiculous how everything is projected into this fear of the future, because that's where human beings seem to want to live, is in fear of the future or depression in the past. It's like everybody living in their mind and their imaginations has us in a state where we're constantly either projecting ourselves into the future or holding on to some kind of past memory. And I think it's very deceptive the way that we use the term the New World Order, because there's nothing new about it. It's been this way for a long, long time, and it's completely screwed up. So could it be that something like universal basic income, for instance, is being planned as a next step in the control system for humanity? Sure. But I mean, again, we're already on the dollar. So any money that you have or use, whether you work for it or you get it in the form of a basic income, it's a scam either way. The money you work for is going to be devalued, and the basic income you get for free is also going to be devalued. So it's control either way, guys. I mean, again, the difference with a universal basic income is at least you're going to get something, as opposed to right now nobody gets anything. And sure, of course, they might use that something that you're going to get, they might use it as another way to try to control you and make you have to jump through more hoops. But again, we already have to do that. You already are controlled. You already have to jump through hoops to be able to participate in the system. The difference with maybe a universal basic income system is now everybody will have to jump through the hoops, so at least we'll all be equal in that regards, as opposed to right now it's like some people can jump through the hoops and others can't even. They can't even jump through the hoops and have that shitty experience to be able to participate in the system. I mean, there's literally billions of people on the planet who are unbanked. That means they're not even allowed to participate in the financial system. So I would consider how much all these fears are coming from our own personal perspective, especially that of more privileged people who currently can participate in the system, because there's a lot of people that can't even. And these new upgrades to the system, like universal basic income or the microchip or whatever, the only difference is it's now going to allow for everybody to participate in the system equally. And then we'll all be slaves, instead of some people being slaves, being the worker bees of the system, while others are literally left for dead, like they can't even participate and be slaves. Now, am I advocating for a future where we're all slaves to the system and have to jump through hoops to exist? No, obviously not. Personally, I would like to see universal basic income given as unconditional basic income. So replace universal with unconditional, so that we don't put huge amounts of conditions and stipulations and all kinds of hoops that people have to jump through to be able to participate in the system. I don't think we should do that. I don't think we should use that money as a way of just further enslaving human beings. Will we have to have checks and balances to make sure that people don't abuse that system? Yes. So if there's some form of registration or whatever, fine. As long as it's not used for control, then we could call that unconditional basic income. And I mean, universal, I don't know if that's realistic because there's so many countries in the world. Anyway, I won't get into that. And maybe the most important thing is the format in which we give that income. So again, if we just give it in some fiat currency or government or globalist currency, that is complete control. And this is something that human beings have to begin understanding. Fiat currencies are complete control. There's a master and a slave dynamic built into every fiat currency, where some are given essentially the power of God to just print new currency and decide the value on a whim, while everybody else is subject to their whims and what they decide. So fiat currency is a scam. That's something we have to start understanding, guys. And so I would say rather have universal basic income paid in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin can't be debased. You know, no matter how much people try to manipulate Bitcoin, and no matter how much Bitcoin might be subject to the whims and rumors of human beings, the fact is all of those attempts to manipulate Bitcoin don't change its base value in terms of how it functions as a system, meaning that the supply of Bitcoin is always going to be the same. No matter how much we try to manipulate it and evaluate it in dollar-denominated value, that doesn't change the fact that the supply of Bitcoin is limited and finite, and it always will be. So one Bitcoin will always equal one Bitcoin. And yeah, that's the basic point of this video. If we do universal basic income, make sure it's paid in Bitcoin, and rather change universal basic income to unconditional basic income, so that it's something that is actually there to support and enable human beings rather than to enslave them. And hey, if they have to send that Bitcoin to you via microchip, so be it. Like, whatever gets money into people's hands, all the better. As long as that itself doesn't become a scam and a control mechanism. Like, we have to enable people financially. It doesn't matter what other thing we do in this world. If people don't have money and the means to exist, what else matters? And people can argue that till the cows come home, but the fact is if you're honest with yourself, you would want that for yourself, meaning you want money. You know that you want money. You know that you would prefer to live a life with money than without. So anybody who's advocating that human beings can somehow exist and live without money, you are full of beans. All right, guys, that's it for now. Thank you.